We got a great panel here to discuss the importance of bud tenders. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves and what they do, and just a follow-up of what makes a good bud tender to you. And real quick, before we get to you, I guess I should say a little bit about myself. Hi, my name's Adam Ill. I'm the highest host. I've been consuming cannabis more than half my life. I've been selling it traditionally for a long time and been doing it rec. I started bud tending officially in 2009 during the deli days, the chopsticks and the jars, and weighing it out to just becoming a bud tender again and seeing how different it is and how it's evolved and changed with all the prepackaged and the distro and the corporate brands and the real buds and the legacy growers. So there's a whole lot, and especially how everything has changed now from just getting high to more medicinal. I mean, it's always been medicinal, but now with the THCV and CBD and CBN and CBG and all these other compounds they're discovering, customers wanting to get more educated. So bud tenders knowing all that is important, and I feel like bud tenders are super important to the brand. So let's get to our panel. Yeah, let's go.
Hi, everyone. My name's Jennifer Park, and I'm the general manager at Urban Joy. I'm going to say here, bud tenders, they tend to get overlooked a lot, so I'm really excited that they're doing this, but they're really the backbones of the company, and they're the ones that drive the sales, so I really believe they're like the heart of the whole store.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Shane Ponto. I'm one of the co-founders of Maven Genetics. This topic to me is really important. I feel like bud tenders get extremely overlooked all the time. They are the biggest pulse to the success of the brands that are out there in the industry, so I'm really happy to be on this panel. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tyler Mackey. I'm the general manager of the Dr. Green Thumbs in Fresno, California here. In the Central Valley, we're trying to bring the brand there, and it's these bud tenders that are on the front line trying to take a Central Valley that for so many years didn't have and really spread that out. So what I look for in a great bud tender is I always look for someone with passion, not just to be selling something, but to be selling what we're selling because of the way it impacts people's lives and the way that by those bud tenders spreading the message that this is culturally acceptable and changing spaces in California where it was looked down on. They're the ones turning that culture, and they're the ones that are turning that social acceptance. So that's what I look for in a bud tender, someone who's ready to move the dial for our community.
Hell yeah, and I'm ready to move that down. What do you look for when you, because you hire the bud tenders at your shop?
Yes.
What is it that you look for when you're hiring a new bud tender?
I'm looking for someone who's willing to learn and someone who has a good understanding of what real customer service is, because I feel like nowadays that's kind of lost in a lot of places. So we really do try to focus on that here at Urban Joy.
And Shane, as a brand owner, which is in a lot of shops, what do you feel is important about a relationship with the bud tenders and the brands? Is there something you look for?
Just with the power that the bud tenders have, I mean, they are the biggest voice for the success under the retail roof. I just feel like the more samples and engagement, education, the trust that you could build with them, then they're able to believe in your product. Like the more that they believe in your product, the more engagement they have, then they're going to stand by you. So I feel like spoiling them with as many samples as possible and educating them is just key to success.
Speaking for bud tenders, when customers do ask, how is it, and we haven't tried it, and we don't get samples, it's hard for us to let them know what it's like. And, I don't like lying to the customer and trying to sell it to them just because I'm trying to make a sale. I'd like to learn. So being able to sample products is huge, and I feel like bud tenders really look forward to that so we can educate ourselves, because not all brands do bud tender training. And I was wondering, is that something that you look for when carrying brands like DTG? Do you guys talk to brands about bud tender training? Is that important to you and your crew?
Yeah, so at our store, we love to have bud tender trainings and PADs. We want the public to know. We want our bud tenders to see how the brands interact with the public, because it's great to get them behind the scenes and give us our trainings. But a lot of times in an industry where we have growing competition and tighter margins, we don't necessarily always have the opportunities for training. So we really rely on PADs coming in and our bud tenders interacting with them on the sales floor and them teaching us how to sell their products directly like that. So we get a lot of that But it's those samples you're talking about. These guys, nobody doesn't get excited when samples show up. They start rubbing their hands, boss, when are those coming out? But you have to get it in their hands, because if they're not smoking it, they're not talking about it. If they're smoking it, they're talking about it, they're selling it, and they're building your brand. So the brands that are generous, that are sending these samples, the brands that are doing right by the bud tenders, understand the power of messaging and the power of that growth just through simple word of mouth and talking about these brands. So we applaud the brands that are doing that.
And on that note, do you approve brands doing like bud tender incentives, like sell our product, you get? Is that something? Yes.
100%. I've got my managers. I've got my team here today. These guys, they see these incentives. They see these brands say, you sell the most of this in a 30-day period. And they literally keep tallies at their stations when they're working. They come in and they're like, boss, I'm in first place for the state of California. Or they'll say, I'm first place in our store. These things excite them about the brands. These bud tenders move the dial. When you guys tell them this is exciting, they get excited. So the engagement is everything.
Yeah, does the Urban Joy do bud tender incentives? I know a couple shops don't really like it because they feel like it takes away from like the honesty of a bud tender, because they're just trying to make an extra buck instead of pushing what they really enjoy. But I mean, as a bud tender, I'll take the incentives all day. You know, when it's hard out here, I'll take them. But I will push the products I do consume. But does Urban Joy partake in the incentives as well?
Absolutely. My bud tenders would be really mad if I didn't, but it does a lot for the business, I think, and for the brands as well. Smoking it and having personal things that they can share with the customers when they ask about a new brand, that's everything to the customers. And I think for customers, if they don't know the brand, if they have a trusted guide at my shop and they're telling them, hey, I smoked this myself yesterday, and they have good things to say about it, most of the times my customers go for it.
And you guys, do you like when the brands do bud tender trainings and educate the bud tenders on their product? Is that like a plus?
I won't do anything without it, because at that point, there's no point. If my bud tenders don't know about the product and they're not using it themselves, it'll just sit.
Do you feel like a lot of brands don't do that? You think more brands should? Because as a bud tender, we have a lot of products, but not a lot of brands like really go out and look after the bud tender. They think they're on the shelves, they're going to move automatically just because they got motion on social media or something. But to my experience, like the social media motion doesn't really translate to like the frontline sales in a shop.
I think in the past year or two, things have kind of slowed down. So sometimes they kind of overlook that. But for the most part, I think most companies are keeping it. Yeah.
The education. Yeah, because I know Maven, you guys really love your bud tenders. And you guys do, pop-ups and fill the lockers with samples. And do the incentives. Has that helped the brand? Do you feel like with the bud tenders, look, Maven got good product. It looks great. It smells good. It smokes good, so it sells. But does that really help move the product, you feel?
Yeah, I think it does. I feel like anytime you have the opportunity to engage with your audience, whether it's a consumer or bud tender, like the more that you could spoil people to have them understand and the message of your brand, what you're all about, your authenticity, just the way you deliver your message, you just get to, you have the opportunity to build momentum and the support that you need to be successful.
You feel like that builds loyalty with the bud tenders to want to really push your product more? Get that loyalty factor, like we really love Maven.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you could either sit on the shelf forever if you don't have that loyalty, and then you become aging inventory, and then you dilute your brand with the days of the deals, and that seems to be the pulse of today's market. So if you stay in tune with your bud tenders and they're supporting you, you're probably going to get more orders, and you're going to keep rotating your product, and that's just like the ecosystem of what they bring.
I feel it. And as like shop owners, is there like a way these brands have done these bud tender training educations that have been more successful than other brands? Has any other brand, they've presented a certain way that really stuck out with bud tenders? Or is everyone just coming with like a little laptop and watch this video?
No, I mean, I'm not as an owner, but as a general manager, I will say that bringing their product along, letting the bud tender touch it, smell it. We don't live in the days where you used to be able to consume it on site and on the clock, but being able to actually interact with the product, opening those jars, letting them get the smell, letting them see what the flower looks like in its best state, that's the way that the bud tenders really can connect with it. Typically, that also comes with some samples, hopefully that, come in with it. And that allows them to also then go home and taste it later and really reconnect to what they were told when they were getting kind of that walkthrough of the product. So I definitely think that education has to come with a very, what does the customer want when they come in? They want to see it, touch it, smell it. So does the bud tender. So whatever they're going to need to answer to the customer, make sure as the time that we're training them that they're getting that experience that you would want the customer to get with that product of yours that you want them to be selling.
So you say the best way to educate the customer is this: bring the product, show them, let them touch it. If we can't smoke it, so when brands do like pop-ups and they invite the bud tenders, those are usually successful for brand awareness.
Those are amazing. And when we can get them to interact with the public as well, where they can actually open up those, it's really great. And like I say, when they see the brand interact with the public and they can mimic that behavior because they pick up on those things that you're pointing them to, and then they start to say that as a part of their common vernacular within the workplace. And it really grows your brand in the direction that you're seeking it to grow. And that's all based on the interaction. The brands that just throw it on the shelves and say, here, sell it, they're not giving these bud tenders that strength of knowledge of being able to say, I know this brand, I know what they're about. So
Yeah.
I love that connection.
I love when they give me their whole marketing campaign, what they're about, what their mission is, their little tag, because everyone has like buzzwords and taglines with their products. So like when you repeat that to the customers, it's kind of like, it's advertising. It basically sparks an interest and they want to know more of it. Like if it's watered from the snow melt of Mount Shasta or whatever the fuck these brands are saying, it's just, they're just good buzzwords. So as of on the front line selling it, it just helps with the sale because people have the weirdest questions when they're buying cannabis. You got these brand new smokers that are coming in that have never seen it to, we still got, the medical patients. So understanding the differences between the consumer and what they're looking for is a lot. And a lot of people just think bud tenders are just a middle of a mall job where you could just point to wherever, like that's the pants, those are the shirts, this is what's on sale, this is seasonal, but it's more than that in a shop. It's not just indica, sativas, pre-rolls, vapes. It's like, how do they make me feel? How does it smoke? Is that gram cartridge gonna burn in one day? Because a lot of this shit is, the affordable stuff is out there, but not everything is, consumer friendly. So it's our education and our experience that helps push these brands. And I feel like that's important for all the bud tenders. What? So when hiring bud tenders, I know you guys get a lot of resumes coming in because everyone wants to sell weed now. Is there anything specific you're looking for when bud tenders come in for a job, Jen?
I'm looking to make sure that they have the customer service background already.
Is that in any industry or just in cannabis?
Any industry. I've had bud tenders that have never smoked weed in their life come in, and they become superstars once they come in. So it's all up to them.
And it's just them learning about cannabis and just having a whole new experience, because I know there's a lot to weed, and every product is different, from infused pre-rolls to the difference between rosin, resin, distillate. Like, do they start getting in? Because I know sometimes when you get a bud tender that isn't really educated, it's kind of hard to see them sell weed when they don't really smoke it.
I think when they get educated, they get curious, and when they start liking it, it just translates to better sales for the whole team. Everyone gets into it. I've had so many bud tenders that didn't smoke in the beginning, and now they're
Out here, professionals,
Yep.
getting all the samples, knowing it all. Is there something specific you look for when you guys are hiring bud tenders?
I start with the same question in every interview. What strain are you and why? I want to know.
What strain are you and why?
I'm a granddaddy perp. And the reason why is because the building can be on fire and I'm as mellow as fuck. Just mellow as fuck. And my whole staff knows that. Like, everything can be. And so you have to know your brand. You have to know. And it's consistent. That's why GDP is my brand, is my style, because I'm consistent like that my whole life.
I haven't seen
professionally.
GDP in a minute,
So
though.
it's out there still. There's a lot of brands still.
now.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
So nonetheless, what I'm looking for in these guys, or what was that question again? Say that one more time.
When you're hiring bud tenders.
Yeah, when I'm
What
hiring.
are you looking for?
The first thing that I'm looking for is, do they know the product? First and foremost is, what do they actually know about cannabis? Are they passionate about it? The retail side is super important. But remember that in the Bay Area and in Southern California, there's been a long established retail market. In the Central Valley, we're babies. 3 years, we're starting to have stores, right? So we're all seeing the first generation. So you need to be a smoker first. I'm not looking, did you work in cannabis before, but are you a smoker? Do you know the benefits? Do you know your strains? I'm looking for that. The next thing, what are you gonna do, not just for my store, but for the culture within the community? I love people that are deeply connected to the community, which my business is located in. I like people who are connected to the entertainment community. So I've got DJs and performers and artists that are working for me, that they are out there spreading the brand, because it's not just like, how can I give you opportunity, but also how can you help us grow and become a staple of the valley that has been so long waiting for this. So I'm looking for big things.
You're looking for long term. You're looking to create a family. You're not trying to do turnover. I feel like customers build trust and loyalty with bud tenders because bud tenders start knowing their customers, the regulars, and they know what they like. And when these customers come in, and it's like a familiar face, it's like the friend at the neighborhood store. And like, I don't know if that bud tender turnaround is really successful for shops. Have you guys experienced that? Do you look for like long-term employees, or?
I have to. You have to throw them out. People will not leave. You know, no one wants to leave.
We want more hours.
Even when the hours get scaled back, they will find ways.
Put me on that schedule. I
They will
sell more
find,
weed.
They'll find ways of keeping their jobs there. Even if they have to take a second job, they don't want to let go of it because there's a passion within my employees. They want to be there. They would have to be shown the door. That's just the type of people that at DGT Fresno we're seeking to employ. And so I really have never had a turnover issue.
Do you feel like bud tending can be like a long-term career, like being a sales at a shop? Is that like something that someone could look forward to as a long-time career? Because a lot of people overlook that position, but it is very important.
We got to get to the point where we can have wages that are like fair and that give people that opportunity, and that comes with things changing at the federal level and all that. Like that's a
Lower
huge,
that tax, fuckers.
That's huge discussion, right? But what the other piece of it is, they can get their foot in the door, figure out where their space is within the cannabis world, and figure out what they want to do within cannabis by being bud tenders. And that's their foot in the door. That's their stable. Here, I'm part of this industry. I'm part of this culture. That's where they start. And then they figure out, do I want to be a brand ambassador? I got like 4 brand ambassadors working for me that have 2 jobs, right? They want to be deeply in this. And so as I look for folks like that, they are helping build partnerships. We had a discussion about an issue with a brand where a bud tender stepped in and said, hey, how can I help facilitate? And we worked those out because those bud tenders are connected deeply to the brands, which tells us what our stores want to be selling, what's on fire on the street. So there's so much into what makes these bud tenders great and what we're looking for. If we're being honest, turnover's the worst thing. I want to go in my shop for years and years and see the same face and know I can count on what he's giving me. No matter what my ailment or what fun I'm looking to have, this guy knows how to get there.
Oh, yeah. You guys like long-term bud tenders? Do you feel like it could be a career, or is this like a startup gig?
I think right now it's a little hard. You have a lot of bud tenders who do it part-time. They're doing other things part-time, but at Urban Joy, we really try to promote from within. Most of my managers and supervisors all started out as bud tenders like myself, so we really encourage that. So we're all about building a way.
Listen, I like selling weed without the responsibilities of being a manager. I'm like, yeah, I just want to sell weed. I don't need all the responsibilities. I'll help you sell, but we can work it out. I mean, you know, I see like there could be a salary gig for bud tenders if they're real consistent and they get that customer loyalty and they help move the product because they are educated, because products come out all the time. You build relationship with brands. I know Shane out here, every time he walks in, people recognize the Luscious Locks and they're like mavens in the building. Let's fucking run it. And do you recognize certain bud tenders at shops that are just been consistent and you see them on the social, you guys see the impact that they have with your product?
I do, man. I think that just goes down to building trust and just being authentic to the craft. A lot of these people, they think it's like an easy job, but it really isn't. You got to be like an extrovert. You got to know your shit. You really have to dissect all the details to all the great brands that are out there on the shelf. If you don't know all that, then like you really got to level up on your education with those brands, just like, you know, having that opportunity to get the samples and everything forward. But I think there is longevity. That's why there's a lot of incentive programs and Spark Plug, what they bring to the table.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You know?
I got paid out by Maven. I appreciate that.
There's a lot of opportunity
yeah.
to support. So
Triple digits, baby.
Yeah, I think there is longevity.
Yeah. No, the incentives do help, but I am an honest bud tender, and you know, if I'm not smoking something or I don't feel like it's worthy, because everyone has a budget, everyone's on a different level. I've been very fortunate and grateful in my experience with cannabis to be able to smoke some of the best in the world and have access to it. So I appreciate everything that's on the shelf. I smoke everything on the shelf just so I have my own experience with what the consumers are buying, because the samples that some of these brands bring in, you guys could probably help me talk on this, is really fresh and it looks great. And then when you order it and you get the product, it is not really the same thing that they showed you. And is that something that, because that kind of, as a bud tender, like I saw the product, they gave me the fresh shit, and then we get the product and it doesn't even equal. It's just kind of frustrating because trying to sell that as good weed, that's not what I experienced. It's kind of hard. Do you guys ever experience stuff with product not being consistent?
Unfortunately, happens sometimes, but I think that it sometimes it's not possible to avoid. But as long as you have a good relationship with the brand and there's communication going on, I think you can get back on the right path.
It's like, yeah.
I feel like most of the brands are pretty fair and honest with us, actually. They tend to send samples, at least in my experience, they tend to send the samples that match up what they're about to put on our shelf. And the reason it'll literally come from the same batch most of the time. And the reason that they're doing that is so that the bud tender can actually speak to what's on the shelf.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you're working with good brands and you have good relationships with them, I feel like the brands do right by you. And so I hope that that's a reflection that our company's doing a great job, at least in trying to keep a communication and relationship about what the value of that sample is. It's not just something free to give away, that it's actually building value when they're giving that to us, because I hate to think that a brand's gonna give me something and it not actually create a value on the sales side of it and our knowledge of the product.
And do you feel that like the bud tenders do build a loyalty and a trust with certain customers? Because like if these bud tenders are off, the customers kind of be like, oh, where's so and so? Is that something that is it super important? Because I know that will bring customer loyalty and trust to the shop.
The bud tender is like the perfect word. So when we as an industry define the word that we're going to call our frontline salespeople, bud tender, it's perfect, because I like to think of the bud tender like we think of the local bartender, right? And my shop being in like a historic little neighborhood with all the culture and the entertainment district of our community, it really is, they walk in and they treat them like a bartender. They tell them about their problems. They tell them about their struggles. We take the time with them to really hear them, see them, and then sell them everything we possibly can that they need, right? And that's what a bud tender really is. It's like your bartender. It's that relationship. So when you asked about turnover, that's why you don't want it, because honest to God, it is that relationship that they build that keeps, and they walk in the door and they say, where is so-and-so and where is so-and-so? And if they're not there, they're not buying as much that day because they trust that person. While they will build trust with someone else, that person can sell them twice as much. So holding your staff and really making them part of your community and your culture within your business, super key. And so start with the best bud tenders.
Just keep them, give them more hours. Do you feel like there should be some type of bud tender training program where like there will be classes on how to, help sales or teach people how to become bud tenders, and there'll be like a certificate of like, I'm an official bud tender, I took this class? Would that, like, you think help with the bud tender gig and making it more long term if there were like certificates of bud tending? I graduated from Bud Tender University.
So they like a challenge. I will say, like when Metric does those things, those trainings, every single inventory associate wants to do every Metric training. So would the bud tenders love it? I'm sure they would. And would there be some value in it? I'm sure there would. However, I don't ever want to lose that authenticity, right? I want to make sure that a conversation about cannabis always remains very natural to your own experience. I want them to talk like real people, not robots. I don't ever want to see this be like Starbucks where we're all shouting the line and, oh, you didn't hit all your buzzwords, right? I want this to be an industry where we speak from the heart. And I think when our bud tenders are speaking from the heart, they're selling more stuff. I talk about what I'm smoking. I talk about what I love because I know if I love it, you probably do too. That's the human element we don't ever want to lose.
Oh, yeah. I can build that trust. I'm like, this is what I smoke. I don't know about all that other stuff, but this right here is what I would get right now. And they're like, hell yeah, you were right. That was good shit. And speaking of robots, do you ever think like there would be AI bud tenders online? Like, what's going to be the future of bud tending? What is that ever going to go in like big retailers?
Oh.
Do we got AI delivery systems?
I saw someone just the other day. It broke my heart. They asked ChatGPT what strain they should be purchasing. And I was devastated. I said, my bud tenders need to get in there and they need to influence this person to buy something different that they personally have smoked. Because we don't ever want to end up in a world where instead of seeing, smelling, experiencing the brands, it becomes as simple as some algorithm that says this is what you should buy. Because I'll tell you, you go to places like this and you get to sample these things, especially when you get to do like a blind sampling and voting on stuff. When you're doing stuff like that, you're surprised when you smoke it. You're surprised. And so AI is going to take all that. So I hope that this industry can remain as organic as it started, in the sense that you got to know it, see it, touch it. I'm not going to take a computer's advice on it. I still want to talk to a human being who can tell me what they went
What
through.
strain did ChatGPT say? Do you remember?
Oh, shit. I don't even remember. It was probably some
I'm
lame
going to ask
one.
ChatGPT what I should smoke. I'm going to see what the fuck. Hey, it's Adam Ill. What weed should I smoke right now? They were like, what? Adam Ill? I'm just playing. Anyway, yes, basically, I just want to convey that how important bud tenders are for the success of every brand. I feel like we have been talking about it very well. We got Jen with Urban Joy, all the new folks that are pulling up, general manager at Urban Joy, Shane out here with Maven, yes. The other guy I'm jealous of with Luscious Locks. It's all good, dude. We'll do a hair product collab. We'll do like CBD shampoo. I'll be able to sell it all day. Don't trip. Thank you, Jen. And what?
Yeah, I'm gonna take my hat off,
Let it out,
man. I'm
Tyler.
gonna pull
let
it out for y'all.
Let it,
Jeez.
we're on the
All right,
ocean.
just
We
let
got
it
the
go
ocean
with the
breeze out
ocean.
here, baby. It's a
Damn.
good time. So incentives, basically, incentives do help bud tenders, and you guys are all about it. You guys aren't against that, because some people have said that takes away trust and loyalty from the brand, but we're all about it. Help the bud tenders out. What do you? Let me ask you guys this: what's more important? Is it knowledge of the product, friendliness, or someone guiding through the whole experience? What's more important? Knowledge, friendliness.
I'd say the whole guiding part, because if they trust you, I think that's most of the battle right there. Being a trusted guide for the customers, and that's what most of my customers are.
Guidance.
Find me that weed shaman. Lead me to where I'm supposed to go. Like, find me the shaman.
Lead me to the promised land.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for.
Yes, because I mean, there are a lot of brand new consumers that are stepping into this industry, and they do read ChatGPT, they do Google everything. People just come reading off a website what they think they should get, because that's what everyone's talking about. And it is, you do have to guide them, because they don't know what they want, and they just think they know what they want, and you just got to kind of talk to them, and that's where the friendliness comes in, because you got to be able to have a conversation and be welcoming, and guide them and be educated on the products to know what they're looking for, because sometimes people don't need a whole, they want to eat something, but they're not ready for 100 milligrams, and they don't realize what 100 milligrams will do to them. And, you know, being someone that doesn't give a fuck, you're like, yeah, just fucking eat the whole bag, you'll be fine. And, you know, some people can't handle that, and they'll scare them from ever coming back and trying it. So being able to guide them through that process and educating them on it is super important. And, you know, you need them bud tenders to push the brands. Is there anything you have to say for bud tenders? Anything, if someone's looking for a job, what they should be doing to get hired?
I would say reach out to the stores in your community that you want to join. Look at the menu, familiarize yourself with what we have, and just kind of just let your passion shine through.
Be real.
Same question.
Yeah.
Love cannabis. Be authentic. Come as yourself. Don't come artificial. We're not looking for artificial people in this industry. We're looking for people who love cannabis and love to sell it. So be authentic and be brave. Walk straight up to us and say, hey, man, I'm looking for a job. Here's my talent. It's easy to get lost on Indeed in a bunch of names, right? Connect with us. It's about building relationships once you get the job. So getting the job should be about building a relationship at the door, right?
All right, let me ask you guys a question. Do awards mean anything in sales of the product to the average customer that comes in? If there's a product that's like an award-winning product, it won whatever cannabis award, does that influence any of the sales?
That definitely moves the ticket in our
Yeah.
store. Customers really do appreciate judges' opinions, feedback, and stuff like that, because that's something that my bud tenders also pay attention to as well on their own.
Shane, has winning awards for your product help sell your inventory?
Absolutely. I think it just gets that visibility to the people that support you and sell your product. So I think anytime that you're able to be seen in the industry, whether you're taking home a trophy or not, is a win. And as long as you got the support and you get that extra, visibility with the trophy, then
Yeah.
great.
Have you seen that at DTG? Do awards influence customer sales?
To a degree, there's that audience, right? That's what they're looking for, and you can't survive in this industry if you're not drawing people in, right? But to the everyday person, they just want consistency, and I think that the brands do best when they're just being consistent. But those awards are always great, and it's a great way to market and sell a product. So it's always a plus.
What's the most popular product that you sell? Like the most consistent? Is it like the $5 joints? Is it the $15 eights? Is it the $70 eights? Is it the $20 gummies? Is it the $15 vapes? What's like the number one like price range product?
I'm gonna be real because
Yes.
we are in a
Be
small
real.
we're in a small business
Be
neighborhood
real,
with a residential neighborhood right on top of us. We literally have such a great place. It's joints. It's walk-in joints. People want that one joint that they can take to the bar, that one joint they can take on their walk. So those multi-packs and those joints, people like the idea that we're making it normal and we're smoking them like cigarettes. People love that idea, especially in the Central Valley.
Well, yes. Same question.
For us, it's going to be vapes. I think for a lot of customers, it's the whole smell factor to it, just trying to mask it, but that's going to be our number one
The
seller.
vapes, is it
Yep.
like the budget vapes, like the 20 vapes, or is it like what price range vapes?
It's the budget, but I've noticed recently they've been kind of treating themselves a little bit, using that as a little oasis for
Yeah.
themselves. So they're looking for rosin now.
They're
so
getting educated. It's that education.
definitely
That
excited.
chemical free. That rosin tech term, the rosin term. Chemical free. On your SKU, what has been like the most popular product that's been selling the most?
I just think today is like the days of the deal. There's no real like customer loyalty to one specific retail. They're always like shopping around for the best deal. I see a big pulse in people spending on bulk. Like our half ounces do it very well because they're priced accordingly. So yeah, I mean joints as well. I see a lot of people smoking joints, and I see a lot of people buying bulk.
Joints, yeah, pre-rolls. I think it's become the convenient smoke that's been selling a lot. It's the pre-rolls and the vapes, and I feel like pre-rolls back in the day had a very bad name to them. They were always the trim or the blast or like the whatever cover, but I feel like they have evolved, and I mean, bud tending has evolved so much since when it first started to now. But the pre-rolls have also evolved. There's actually smokable pre-rolls out there now that actually hit and are good, because I feel like they got a negative stigma for a long time. So knowing that pre-rolls are selling a lot in there, I know there's a lot of budget pre-rolls and high-end pre-rolls. I like that people are making that a nice SKU and putting good product in there and actually putting real flower, because the customer does want what I've learned as a bud tender on Frontline is they want consistent and affordable quality cannabis, and they each have a budget. Some budget is 20, some budget is 50, but they just want to have a trust with the brand, and they know what they like and they get it. Sometimes they'll try other things if we run out, but they like that trust and that consistency. And I think brands being consistent, educating their bud tenders, giving them the incentives and samples so they know what's up, really helps bud tenders sell the product, because they are on the front lines and the ones that are helping the shops. And do you guys feel it's super important for the bud tender brand relationship to work out for the bud tenders to sell more? Because I know a lot of brands ain't really out here trying to train everyone. They just put it on the shelf. So is that something you think brands should look more into, is how to train bud tenders and get them more educated on product, since they're overlooked?
I will say, at least the brands that I work with, they're pretty good about staying on top of recurrent training, because we know things change all the time. We have new products coming in all the time, and the brands that I work with are eager to make sure they're sending the people in to educate my staff before the product comes in, so they know how to interact with the customer about it and feel confident about the products.
Yes. We out here, education and knowledge. Keep them educated and keep them happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a full bud tender certified program that we implemented a long time ago.
What? How do I get
Um,
certified?
We have like an online form you can fill out, and then we spoil the bud tenders after they finish it. It's
What?
pretty basic. Just more engagement, transparency, and just load them up with samples. The more they get to experience your brand, the more they'll support you. So
I'll be walking around in a little bit. I'm a bud tender. I do like samples.
got 'em.
Yeah, if they know your brand, they know your face. Especially if they know if you've got those brand ambassadors, if you've got those reps out there, if they know your rep, they know your product. That's what they're going to be working on. So this is an industry about relationships still. So as long as the brands keep it organic like that and about relationships, we're going to have success as an industry, not just stores. And so just keep that relationship alive with these bud tenders, and we'll do the job.
Yeah, I learned a lot. It's very exciting. We're already there, dude. I forgot I have to look at the clock, too. Anybody have any questions? Want to talk to anybody? Have something they want to bring up, mention? I guess we could give it a shot. If not, I don't give a fuck. I'm just giving y'all the opportunity. It don't matter either way. Appreciate all y'all chilling out here. I got a nice, hey, guys. Hey, hi, it's beautiful out here. Listen, it's been great. I appreciate y'all coming out here. Where can people find you? Where are you guys at? What are you doing at the rest of the show? Are you guys here? You booth, walking around?
Yep, we're just gonna look around, see what everyone has.
Ready to stock your shelves. Listen, she's looking for products. If you want to Urban Joy, they out here. Where you at? What you got?
We're at booth A15. We have our full strain lineup, all of our whole SKU product line. Everything's available for people to come through. So you're more than welcome to
Any
stop by.
network show
We'll load you
specials?
up. Yeah, we're just giving away as many free
Yeah.
samples as we can.
All right, I'll make sure I come by. Get that orange Bellini. Where you guys at? What you up to right now?
We're not inside. We're just walking around. We've got staff down here, bud tenders, all of our management team taking time over the 2 days. So we just appreciate the opportunity to get here and allow so much of our staff to learn more about the product and really come and interact with you all and get to be better bud tenders. So what a great experience.
All right, last question. You guys walked around yet? You guys got to experience the show a little bit?
No, not yet.
Have you got to walk around?
I did the quick loop, but I'm going to get back
Anything
out there for the
exciting?
next
Anything
2
you're
days.
looking forward to seeing at the network show?
I got to go check these guys out
All
for
right.
damn sure.
All right, go to maybe. You didn't walk around. Anything you're excited to look at? Go check out.
Nope, excited to talk to Shane.
What? I get a percentage off whatever happens right here, Shane?
Whatever you want. I
What? Listen, I appreciate you guys. I know
That's
there's a lot of show. We got more panels coming up. Thank you guys for coming
Thank
through.
you.
Appreciate
Thanks
all
for
y'all
having us.
chilling out and hanging out and smoking. Hope y'all learned something. If not, I appreciate your time. I'm Adam Mill, the highest host. I'll be here all day and ready to smoke your weed. I'll see you guys. Bye. Thank you.